You were speaking, they cut in, you stopped. The room kept moving without you. Nobody paused, nobody came back, nobody said, "Let them finish." Your point disappeared, their voice stayed, and the worst part is, it did not look like disrespect. It looked normal, just one unfinished sentence left sitting there. That is where you lost the floor, not when they interrupted. When your silence made the interruption easy, because after that moment the room learns something. Your sentence can be crossed, your pace can be broken, your point can be skipped, and you will make no visible repair. So the next time, they do it faster, they cut in earlier, they hold the floor longer, they stop checking whether you are finished. Not because they are always stronger, because you trained the moment to continue without you. And this is where calm authority begins, not by fighting for attention, not by raising your voice, but by refusing to let your point disappear just because someone walked over it. The first mistake is smaller than you think. It happens in the second after you stop. The first visible mistake is not silence itself. Silence can be powerful. Silence can be controlled. But this silence is different. This is the silence where your eyes drop, your shoulders soften, your mouth closes before your thought is finished. Maybe you give a small smile, maybe you nod like their interruption was fine. Maybe you say, "Yeah, go ahead." And in your mind, you are being mature. You are avoiding awkwardness. You are keeping the conversation smooth. But outside your mind, something else is visible. You released the floor. You did not pause with intention. You disappeared. There is a difference. A controlled pause says, "I am still here." A withdrawal says, "Move on without me," and people can feel the difference before they can explain it. The mistake is not that you got interrupted. That happens to everyone. The mistake is you let the interruption become the ending. Nobody defended the sentence, you abandoned yourself. The person who cut in may not even think they are testing you. They may be excited. They may be careless. They may be used to talking over people. But once you stop, they receive information. They learn there was no cost, no pause, no correction, no return, no calm signal that says, "I was not done." The group receives information too. They follow momentum. Most people do not follow the best point. They follow the point that survives the interruption. So when your sentence vanishes, the conversation adjusts around the louder stream. Someone turns their body toward the other person. Someone answers their idea. Someone writes down their point. And yours becomes something that almost happened. That is the quiet damage. Your thought does not get rejected, it gets erased. Rejection at least means they heard it. Erasure means they moved on before your presence mattered. This is why people disrespect you in small, repeated ways, not always because they hate you. Sometimes because your boundaries never appear in the moment where they are needed. The pattern becomes dangerous because people rarely need a second invitation. Once they learn your voice can be removed, they start acting like your sentence is optional. Next time they enter sooner, before your point lands, before your example finishes, before your meaning becomes clear. And because you already let one interruption pass, the second one feels easier for everyone to accept. That is how control shifts, not in one dramatic scene, not with shouting, not with some obvious insult. It shifts through repetition. You stop, they continue. You wait, they expand. You hope the group will come back to you. The group follows whoever keeps the floor. And after enough moments, you become the person people talk over without even noticing. That is the mechanism. Your silence after interruption becomes a social instruction. It tells the exchange, keep going, there will be no repair. And the painful part is this. The longer you wait to return to your point, the more unnatural it feels to return at all. So your own hesitation starts protecting their control. You repeat it because it feels safer. You do not want to look difficult. You do not want to seem sensitive. You do not want the table to tighten around you, so you call it patience. You call it being calm. You tell yourself it is not worth it. And sometimes it really is not. Not every interruption deserves your energy. But when it keeps happening, the issue is no longer one sentence. It is the role you are accepting. You become the person who adjusts first, the person who waits, the person who makes space while nobody makes space back. And after a while, you start speaking differently, shorter, softer, with more permission in your voice. You rush your point because you expect to be cut off. You apologize before entering. You say, just real quick, as if your own thought is already too much. That is the deeper cost. You do not only lose the floor, you start entering conversations like you borrowed the right to be there. CTA. If this hits home, subscribe. We are building a place for calm people who are tired of being quietly disrespected. The correction is not dramatic. You do not need to snap back. You do not need to embarrass anyone. You do not need to overpower the room. You only need to repair the crossing while it is still visible. When someone cuts in, let one beat pass. Not a long silence, not a wounded silence, one controlled beat. Then return. I want to finish that thought. Calmly, no smile to soften it, no apology before it, no long explanation after it, just the sentence. Then continue exactly where you stopped. That is important. Do not restart from the beginning. Do not over-explain why you should be heard. Return to the point as if your place was never surrendered, because that is what calm authority looks like. It does not beg the conversation to respect it. It behaves like respect is already required. And when you do this consistently, people adjust. The interrupter slows down. The group waits longer. The table learns your sentence has a boundary, not because you became louder, because you stopped disappearing. So the next time someone cuts across your sentence, watch the second after it happens. That is the real test. Not their interruption, your repair. Do not fight for the floor. Do not shrink from it either. Hold the point, return calmly, finish the sentence. Because the moment you stop and never come back, they learn they can continue without you. But the moment you return without anger, they learn something else. Your voice can be interrupted, but it cannot be removed.